We are back. I took my family today to see The Little Mermaid. The movie was fantastic. It was my daughter's first movie. She's 3.5, and she's a huge Little Mermaid fan. So it was going to be interesting to see her reactions as the movie played on. And I did. I looked over at some of the key moments, and she was just in awe. Haley Bailey was fantastic. Her voice is amazing. She just nailed this character. And sometimes when she talked, she actually sounded like the original cartoon version. And she paid beautiful homage, but yet took the vocals to a whole new level and made it her own. So any doubt that she was the wrong person for this role is ridiculous. One of the things people fail to realize is that she was a huge YouTube star, was discovered by Beyonce and signed to her label. Well, Beyonce was huge in The Lion King, so obviously she had an in with the Mouse House. I don't think this was necessarily a situation where they just went for somebody because they went for somebody. I think Beyonce probably had a huge hand in introducing her to Disney. And after you hear her voice, it's like, it's so obvious. Plus, with her built-in millions of followers on YouTube, it was also a key decision too in the marketing, I believe. You have a built-in fan base, connections to Beyonce, and a voice of an angel. It's a no-brainer for Disney. Melissa McCarthy crushed this role. Every time she was on screen, she was fantastic. I loved it. I will say that some of the camera moves on her were a little dizzying. I mean, I'm sure it was good if it was in 3D or something, but we didn't watch it in 3D, and I was getting a little motion sickness when she was crawling around all over the place. But that being said, she crushed it. She did a fantastic job. Melissa McCarthy nailed it. Prince Eric actually had a story in this movie. They gave him a lot of weight. I actually enjoyed every time his character was on screen. Fantastic actor. Loved it. Scuttle and Sebastian, awesome. I needed more of Scuttle and Sebastian. And I get it. It may not have been integral to the storyline, but I needed more of them. Every time they were on screen, they were so entertaining, and seeing the kids in the theater snap to it. You know, sometimes they would get a little fidgety when there were gaps where there weren't songs and stuff, but the minute Scuttle and Sebastian were on screen, you had their full attention. The Scuttlebutt song is going to be huge. We were thoroughly entertained by it, and I think it was a great addition to the movie. People that were upset with some of the CG in this movie need to have their head examined. Anyone comparing The Little Mermaid to Avatar is just doesn't make any sense. Avatar was in development for 13 years. They broke new ground. They had new camera technology invented to do what they did. They actually shot a lot of underwater stuff in order to capture the performance. Not that they didn't do that in this one, but trying to compare Avatar and, oh, well, they've set the bar for, you know, the CGI underwater stuff. No, they didn't. This is still, even though some of it looked photorealistic, it felt like a cartoon. So you can't put them in the same category. It just makes no sense. If you're still doing that, stop. Ursula's final fight with Ariel, spoiler alert, it's like in the cartoon. You know, she gets stabbed by one of the ships at the end. But it was really scary. It was very dark. And you know, it kind of, you could see the tension in the kids' faces and stuff. I think they went a little overboard with that scene, and it could have been a little bit more friendlier. I think people forget the audience for this sometimes when they're making this. It's like 3-year-olds and up. So you got a lot of 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. That scene could have been a little more cartoonish, if you will. It was pretty intense and scary for little kids. Now, here's the one thing that I didn't like. The runtime. 2 hours and 34 minutes. It was too long. My daughter's 3.5. There were other kids about her age in the row right in front of us, and they were getting up and moving around, walking up and down the aisles because they were getting bored. It was too long. The original movie, it was like 90 minutes, the cartoon. There's no reason why this film couldn't have been 2 hours. Half an hour extra was just too much. Here's the idea, though. You cut out next time all the new stuff that you're putting in song-wise, and then you add it and make it a director's cut for DVD or a re-release a month or two later, or exclusively on Disney Plus. But to put so many little kids through 2.5 hours plus, and then the theater adds 15 minutes worth of previews. So then it puts it at 3 hours. I mean, to ask little kids to sit there for 3 hours, especially when there's gaps where there's not a lot going on, too much. Other than that, I give this movie a 9 out of 10 stars. I think it delivered on everything it promised, and I wish it the best of success. What did you think of The Little Mermaid? Let's talk about it in the comments section, and we'll see you on the next one.